Imagine being told you're too small, too weak and not good enough to play football, and then going on to become the greatest football player of all time. Because that's exactly what Lionel Messi did. Not only did he win every major prize in football, he managed to do so while conquering the hearts of hundreds of millions across the world. But how did he do it? How did a small boy from Rosario go from being written off for his size to becoming a footballing god? And more importantly, what can you learn from his extraordinary journey? In this video, we'll dive into 10 key lessons from Messi's life and career that will inspire you to keep pushing forward no matter what challenges you face. Let's break them down. The first lesson is power of sheer determination. Today, we know Lionel Messi as the greatest footballer the world has ever witnessed. Someone who has won everything there is to win and has changed the game forever. But did you know that Messi almost didn't even make it as a professional footballer? Back in his days in Rosario, Argentina, Messi was a naturally gifted player. However, there was one big problem: his size. By the age of 11, he was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which meant he was much smaller than other kids his age. His talent was undeniable, but many clubs in Argentina refused to take a chance on him. The treatment he needed cost nearly $1,000 per month, which local clubs were unwilling to pay. His football career appeared to be over before it had even started. But Messi and his family refused to give up. That's when Football Club Barcelona entered the picture. They saw something special in Messi, something others had overlooked. The club's director was so impressed that he immediately drew him up a contract offer on a piece of napkin. So, at just 13 years old, Messi made a life-changing decision. He left his home, his friends and everything he knew to move across the world to Spain. It was a huge sacrifice for a child, but Messi was determined. In Barcelona, he endured many challenges, including homesickness and the pressure of proving himself in a foreign country. Yet, he never let these struggles break him. In fact, it was at Barcelona that he reached a level of greatness that was previously unheard of. Messi's success proves that sheer will and determination can beat the toughest of odds and overcome even the most difficult obstacles. Now, let's move on to the second point: importance of teamwork. Even the greatest talents in the world can't pull off everything by themselves, and Lionel Messi is no different. Messi's technical ability and vision put him head and shoulders above the rest of his teammates. Yet it was his ability to work with them within a very specific tactical structure that brought him and his team so much success. At Barcelona, Messi thrived because he was surrounded by players who brought out the best in him. Players like Xavi, Iniesta, and later Suarez and Neymar weren't just regular teammates, they were an extension of his footballing mind. Their amazing chemistry on the pitch led to Barcelona becoming one of the most dominant teams in football history. Messi once said, "I have been lucky to find myself at this Barcelona team with such great players. This team will go down in history for everything it has won. The team makes me a better player. Without my teammates, I would be nothing, I would have won nothing." So remember, be it in sports, business, or any other sphere of life, success isn't a solo journey. True greatness lies in working together with your teammates towards a common goal. No matter how skilled you are, having the right people around you will help you go further than you ever could alone. Let's talk about the third lesson: staying composed under pressure. Pressure can break even the best of us, but Messi never let it affect him. Ever since he was a teenager, he has faced enormous expectations, from carrying the hopes of an entire nation to constantly being compared to legends like Maradona. And with those expectations, of course, came immense criticism. Messi, however, always remained unfazed and let his football do the talking. The perfect example of this is the 2014 FIFA World Cup, where Messi almost single-handedly brought his team to the brink of glory. After years of criticism for not replicating his Barcelona success with the national team, the weight of Argentina's hopes rested squarely on his shoulders. And with his previous two campaigns ending in spectacular failure, the stakes this time around couldn't be higher. Messi simply had to deliver, and deliver he did. Wearing the captain's armband, Messi led by example, creating key chances and scoring crucial goals whenever his team needed them the most. Particularly this sensational last-minute winner against Iran.
Messi, he'll go for goal here. Oh my goodness gracious me! If one man could win a football match, it would be...
Even though Argentina narrowly lost the final, Messi's leadership and his performances in the tournament earned him the golden ball, proving his doubters wrong. The lesson here is that pressure is inevitable. What matters is how you deal with it. Because like Messi showed the world, true greatness is not just about talent, but about rising to the occasion when it matters most. Which brings us to our next point: turning failure into fuel. Argentina's defeat in the 2014 World Cup final was neither the first nor the only setback that Messi faced in his career. Most of those failures arrived on the international stage, where he failed to win anything big with Argentina for 15 years. Despite having already won everything there was to win with his club, Messi's failure to win a major trophy for his country always haunted him. So much so that after the 2014 heartbreak and back-to-back Copa America defeats against Chile in 2015 and 16, Messi decided to call time on his international career. However, a countrywide campaign in Argentina, including a plea from the president himself, convinced him to return to the national team. While Messi's return didn't go well immediately, as Argentina crashed out of the 2018 World Cup early, he was now more determined than ever. He had a fire in his belly that only failure could ignite, and he used it as fuel to push harder. And in 2022, Messi found his redemption as he finally led Argentina to World Cup glory, delivering one of the most iconic performances in tournament history. After facing defeat at every turn of his international career, Messi ultimately fulfilled his dream, proving that failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. Everyone stumbles along the path, but it's what you do after that matters. Like Messi, let failure fuel your fire and keep moving forward. Now, let's move on to the fifth lesson: power of quiet charisma. We just discussed how Messi's performances were paramount to Argentina lifting its first World Cup since 1986. However, there is one aspect of Messi's role in that triumph that most people often overlook: his quiet, yet charismatic leadership that turned an otherwise average and demoralized squad into a formidable team who wasn't afraid of taking on anyone. Messi's charisma was at full display during the 2021 Copa America and the 2022 World Cup, where Argentinian players rallied behind their captain and ultimately helped him win the 2 trophies missing from his cabinet. Throughout both tournaments, they were never afraid to put their bodies on the line for Messi and their team, and always ran and fought harder than the opposition. What makes Messi's leadership so powerful is that it's authentic and not forced. He never needed to demand loyalty. His teammates gave it willingly. That's charisma, the kind that doesn't shout, but still moves mountains. You don't have to change who you are to lead. You can be calm, humble, and still command deep respect among those around you. This also makes for a great segue for our next point: staying true to yourself. One of the most remarkable things about Messi is that despite all his success and global fame, he never stopped being himself. No matter the stage or the spotlight, Messi never tried to put on a different persona and remained true to his quiet, shy, and socially awkward self.
Bueno, buenas noches. Se pone más nervioso lo que estoy.
He didn't chase headlines or seek attention like most global superstars do. Instead, he stayed completely grounded and focused on what really mattered: the game. In a celebrity-obsessed world where it's easy to get lost in fame, comparison, and outside expectations, Messi's authenticity stands out. He let his values guide him, both on and off the pitch. That consistency of character is part of why so many people connect with him. Not just as a footballer, but as a human being. Messi has shown the world that you don't need to change who you are to become successful. In fact, your uniqueness can also be one of your biggest strengths and will set you apart from the rest of the crowd. By staying true to yourself, you won't just find success, you'll find fulfillment too. That brings us to our 7th lesson: adaptability. Messi is considered the greatest of all time, not just because of his talent, but because of his ability to rule the footballing world for almost the entirety of his career. Messi's longevity can be best highlighted by the fact that he won his first Ballon d'Or in 2009 at only 22 years old. And his last Ballon d'Or came in 2023 when he was already 36, making him the oldest recipient of the award in nearly 70 years. But how did he manage to stay on top of his game for so long? Well, he adapted. Over the years, as the game changed around him, so did Messi. Early in his career, Messi relied on his explosive pace and dribbling skills to destroy the opposition's defense. But as he matured and physical demands began to shift, Messi adjusted his game accordingly. He became more of a creator. He started dropping deeper into midfield, picking out passes no one else could see, controlling the tempo, and still managing to score aplenty. He used his football IQ to influence games without always needing to be the fastest player on the pitch. The lesson here is that change is inevitable. It's your ability to adapt to it that will determine how far you'll go. Evolve with the times, adjust your approach, and you'll always stay in the game. As we move closer to the end, let's talk about a very important lesson, which is mastering the basics. When you watch Messi tear apart the opposition's defense with a perfectly weighted pass, or curl a perfect shot into the corner of the net, you might be forgiven for thinking it's magic. But at the heart of it all is something far more simple: complete mastery of the basics. Whether it's his first touch, his technique, or his movement, everything he does is rooted in perfect fundamentals. From his very first days at La Masia, Messi focused relentlessly on mastering the basic elements of the game. Messi never needed to rely on flashy tricks or acrobatic moves. With him, it has always been about control and precision. Simplicity done flawlessly. This helps him make even the hardest moves look effortless. Even in high-pressure situations, Messi relies on these fundamentals to maintain his consistency. When others panic or overcomplicate things, Messi sticks to the basics, and that's what keeps him so effective year after year, game after game. Success isn't about doing extraordinary things all the time. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Get the basics right, build a solid foundation, and success will take care of itself. And the ninth lesson is staying humble no matter how high you rise. In a world where fame often inflates egos, Lionel Messi remains a symbol of humility. Despite being one of the most celebrated athletes in history, Messi has never let success change who he is. No bragging, no drama, just quiet confidence and respect for the game, his teammates, and even his rivals. From playing barefoot in the streets of Rosario to lifting the World Cup in Qatar, Messi has carried the same humble spirit throughout his journey. Even after winning the largest individual prizes in football, including 8 Ballon d'Ors, you won't find him demanding the spotlight. Instead, he always credits his team, thanks the fans, and quietly gets back to work. Winning the World Cup with Argentina was perhaps Messi's greatest ever triumph. But he didn't even make that just about himself. Instead, he celebrated with his teammates, his country, and the fans who stood by him through years of heartbreak. His humility only made the moment more powerful. So, you see, true greatness isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you carry yourself while achieving it. Stay grounded, be gracious, and let your actions speak louder than your ego. This brings us to our last lesson: importance of family. Behind Lionel Messi's incredible journey is a powerful constant: his family. From the very beginning, his family played a crucial role in supporting his dream. When he was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency as a child, it was his parents who fought tirelessly to get him the treatment he needed. When he got the chance to move to Barcelona at just 13, his father uprooted his life to go with him. Even his now wife, Antonella Rocuzzo, has been a big part of his life since they were kids. Throughout his career, Messi has always kept his family close. He always celebrates his wins with his wife and children, and never forgets to acknowledge them in his interviews.
Una vez que tuve mis hijos y mi familia, obviamente amo el fútbol, me encanta, vivo para el fútbol, pero mi familia está por encima de cualquier cosa.
Even at the peak of his success, Messi remains a family man, grounded, loyal, and deeply connected to his roots. That emotional support system has been a source of strength through the pressures of fame and the challenges of always competing at the highest level. Messi's story is a perfect example of how no dream can ever truly be achieved alone. The love, sacrifice, and encouragement of your loved ones can give you the strength to keep going, especially when the road gets tough. Never forget where you came from and who helped you get there. Messi's journey isn't just a story about football, it's a story about heart, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. From a small boy from Rosario to a man who conquered the world, Messi reminds us that no dream is too big if you're willing to fight for it. So whatever your path or your purpose, take these lessons, apply them to your life, and write your own legacy. So what do you think about these lessons from Messi's life? Let us know in the comments if there's any we've missed. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more.